Welcome to Alive on One, a miniature war games and hobby-centered podcast. I'm Nick Shaw, and with me today is Steven Maddox.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. How's Azeroth?
It's great. I killed a headless horseman. I had a great time. Got some transmogs. Didn't get the mount yet, even though I think I already have the mount, but that was from like 9 years ago, so I don't really remember. Having a great time.
I'm glad you are. I refuse to get back into it.
It's pretty fun. They've made a lot of like lifestyle, like quality of life changes, so it's pretty fun, I have to say.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about WoW in this podcast.
No, this isn't a WoW podcast.
No, get that out of here.
I brought it up because that's what you were doing when we were setting up.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So, first things first is we always start with the Alive on One stories. I don't have any, although I did play a game this week, but I didn't leave anything alive on one or had anything left alive on one.
You just murdered.
I just murdered with Inhumans. It was kind of fun, but I felt bad.
No, never feel bad playing Inhumans. No one plays them.
They're pretty fun. I was pleasantly surprised the couple times I've used them.
I mean, Black Box's great. Like, there's nothing against that guy. He's pretty good model. Yeah.
Especially you want him to flip, and it's like...
Yeah, and that leadership is great. I think even I guess spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about monsters this episode.
Yep.
I do think one of the monsters actually loves that leadership. With that trading power back and forth, so that might be a space for him. But I do have an 11-1 story. I thought it was pretty fun. I was playing Carnage of all characters into a web warrior character, and I was able to do the great little move forward, jump in the middle of 3 characters, and do maximum carnage, where Amazing Spider-Man was alive on 1, and so I was able to just focus down, I think it was Ghost Spider first, because I didn't want her to do her stupid lifesaver pull thing, and then I got the Rampage trigger just to kill Spider-Man alive on 1. I was like, yeah, that feels pretty good, and I was able to drop 3 activations from him that turn with that Area 2 attack.
I mean, doing anything with Carnage always feels pretty good, right?
Hey, yeah, man. He's fun. He still does stuff.
Did you put what is that card on him?
Custom upgrades?
Yeah, that one.
I had it. I didn't actually put it on there at that point because I ended up doing, I think I did Sadistic Glee instead for some reason, and I saved custom upgrades to put on Doc Ock, who's my leader that game. Because his Wilds count as 2 is really good with that card.
That actually is pretty good.
Yeah. And then I wanted to save 3 power for Paint the Town Red because I knew I was going to kill somebody and I wanted to pop off again.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm. But it was fun. It's always fun to have Carnage on the table. I love that model.
It is a cool model.
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad he's kind of subpar.
Yeah. I feel like his normal attack doesn't always... I guess you can make it a 7-die attack often with just taking damage on yourself, but I feel like he doesn't punch as hard as he wants to.
No. Mm-hmm. He dies to a stiff breeze.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. It's kind of what he does. I think if he had a Pierce, like a Wild Pierce maybe on his builder, I think he'd be much better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would definitely help. What about comics? Are you still reading the Hobbit comic, or did you finish it?
I'm not going to lie. I haven't even started it, Nick.
Just sitting there, waiting.
It's in there. I'm going on vacation next week, so I might take it with me to read on vacation. That's
there you go.
Effective thing, I guess.
Well, I read the new Absolute Wonder Woman, which was good.
Mm.
And then I read I think it's Green Lantern Dark is the title, which that was pretty good. I haven't really read much other than those.
Do you have a strong preference of like DC versus Marvel comics, or are you just happy with either?
I'm pretty happy with either. I mean, I'm probably more of a DC guy, especially like with the comics. But nowadays they're kind of comparable. Like, I hate a lot of both. I love a lot of both.
Yeah. Because aren't a lot of authors, don't they do both, or they've been tied with
there's a ton of crossover.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
The Daredevil writer was also writing Batman for a while. So.
That's pretty equivalent in my brain.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I don't think I've ever actually read a DC comic, to tell you the truth.
I mean, I think a lot of DC comics are better than a lot of Marvel comics, but that's me. Like, some of the modern ones from Marvel are better than DC, but...
Yeah, I would think older comics, they're not the greatest.
No, I think DC is definitely stronger with their older stuff than Marvel, personally.
Makes sense. All right. Yeah. Well, then what about hobby stuff you get this week? You get any hobby stuff done?
I took out those competition pieces. So
did you at least put them on your desk? Did you clear your desk off, actually? Step one.
No.
Okay. So
I moved to the kitchen table for right now.
All right. Well, I guess that's a flat surface.
But yeah,
so I was saying, did you put your meat pot models in front of you so you actually see them more often?
But yeah, I opened the Minotaur and I was just like dry fitting everything, and it's got a lot of gaps, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. And like, because he comes on that like display base with the backdrop with the door and the rocks, that stuff's not lining up right, and I don't know if it's because like something is warped.
Yeah, probably with resin, right?
Like, this is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that sounds hella frustrating.
So I'm like, I could just toss that and mount them on like an actual base and just say hell with the backdrop. Or I had another old model from a company that is not a very good company that we found out later.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I won't drop any names here, but I'll tell you offline. But I've had it for years, and it's a Knoll Warrior. So I was like, I'll put that together, see if that goes together easier, and maybe I'll pivot to that. But I got halfway through the build, and one of his legs doesn't fit properly. So
man.
Like, all right.
That's frustrating.
So no matter what I do, I'm going to have to do something to clean up stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to minimize as much pre-painting work as possible, but I'm not going to get out of it.
No, with any of those like resin pieces, especially, I feel like you always have to do a fair amount of gap filling.
Yeah, like I'm fine with the gap filling. I'm more frustrated with that backdrop and base. Because like, what do you do with the resin? Do like I plop it into like boiling water and you can remold it? Like I don't know.
It looked like pretty thick resin, so I would imagine not
really thick.
Ugh, yeah, that's frustrating.
So it's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I just scrap that and just do like just a little square base or something.
Yeah, I feel like the backdrop it's a doorway, like a stone doorway almost. So like, does that really add that much? Yeah, probably not, right?
No,
or is it just you could just do the model itself?
I mean, I could always just drop the base and mount the backdrop on something that's not warped. Like I got to really look at it and see what's warped.
Yeah.
But as it is right now, they don't want to.
I mean, I guess you could take like some plexi card and use that as like a connector between the two of them.
Yeah.
And then texture paste the bottom so they actually fit together.
So it's either that or I just pivot to a third model, which I have no idea what it would be, but I should probably just suck it up and.
Yeah, you should probably just pick one, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say pick the Minotaur that you originally talked about doing.
I like the Minotaur model more.
Yeah.
It's just maybe I should not do the whole backdrop that comes with it. And it's still a cool model. I don't think it loses anything by ditching that.
Yeah.
If it makes my life easier.
But then you have to paint his back more.
Oh, no.
Because you'll actually see it.
You're right.
So maybe it's saving you because you would have put the whole thing together and realized, like, crap, I have to paint this guy's back and he has a backdrop behind him.
Oh, no.
So for me, I speed painted a whole bunch of stuff. Yep. I guess because of a little life catch up too. I went down to RSMP at Running Scared Motion Pictures, and I did a couple battle reports with them. So I wanted to get a bunch of models painted up to actually put on the table. So I'm not just putting gray plastic or prime plastic on the table. And just I did a black prime with a Wraithbone. I found an old can of Wraithbone primer in my garage. I did a Zenithal with that, and then I just did basic slap chop stuff. It was kind of fun though because I ended up getting my wife to paint one of the models, and she did a really fun idea, and she had a good time with it. So I thought it was kind of fun to have her actually paint with me. And she painted that one model as I painted the other four. But it got done in a day, surprisingly. 5 models done in a day.
I saw the models. I'm like, oh god, he's really going to attempt it. All right,
yeah, it happened. I'm a little burnt out now.
I would assume so. Are you?
And then realize they're okay, right? Am I like happy? No, because I know I can do a higher standard. But they're fine tabletop models.
Will you go back and bring them up higher, or is it kind of a one and done? You're probably not playing them again.
I think some of them I probably will, but most of them I'll probably just leave the way they are because most like generic MCP models that you play every once in a while, like even if they're just painted, is better than nothing.
Oh yeah.
Unless like maybe I start playing like crazy or something like it with those models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And then, that was my big life catch up. I drove a lot this weekend because I drove, it's like 3.5 hours down to RSMP. So there and back. And then I ended up going to Boston for some work stuff. So I drove to Boston too. And I was like, oh my God, I am tired of driving. I drove like 12 hours in 2 days.
Ugh. Mm-hmm. Boston drive's not terrible from here, but it's still another 4 hours round trip.
Yeah, it's just long. Like when you get back into Maine across that bridge, you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to be home. But it's still like 45 minutes.
That's the longest part of that drive.
Mm-hmm.
I know that
sure
real well.
Sure. Mm-hmm. You got any other fun life stuff going on, or just school stuff?
Don't have any crazy thing going on, but
sometimes a good thing, right?
Yeah, I don't get busy until I think it's this week of the Standoff. So
yeah. Speaking of, when is that happening?
That is November 16th through the 17th.
Yeah, I still think we're at like 23 or 22 players signed up right now.
And the room block, I think we're going to add to the description of this episode, I think, and the tickets is the plan. So
yeah, and there, because the room block still I think has a couple spots left open.
Okay. Yeah.
Prize support. I got a newer prize support thing that I found was a 3D print for best painted stuff. It's a Bob Ross Deadpool.
That's awesome.
And I was like, well, that's super fitting. And so I'll probably do a best individual model and a best squad.
Nice.
Or best affiliation. Just best squad. That sounds fine.
Yeah.
And I was going to give them away for prize support. I think they're really cool looking. And they're like 5 inches tall. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We have a lot of fun, actually.
Mm-hmm. And it's like 2 weeks away, right? That is like right around the corner.
2 weeks away. It's right.
It's like 2.5. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. So hopefully that goes well. I know one of our local guys is painting a bunch of terrain with an airbrush. So he's learning how to do that. So I think we'll have plenty of terrain though. Because Brian's also offered to bring up terrain from Midgard. So that should be nice and happy. Everything should be painted nicely, which is awesome.
We should definitely do a head count of our terrain probably in the next week or two.
I think I should, especially before I go on vacation.
Yeah, because you're leaving and I won't be there for Standoff to help you.
Yeah. But I know we have plenty.
Won't be there, or Burke or Baruch, whatever we say his last name.
So yeah, but that's
he's
exciting.
Playing, so I don't know how much help he'll be.
Nah, I'm gonna let him play too. Like he signed up to go to play, and I don't think I'm gonna bug him to try to run stuff. I want him to enjoy actually playing in the game and stuff like that. Yeah. And then after that, January 3rd and 5th is Everwinter, so it's the big Boston one. So please show up to Boston for that. You can win a ticket at Stand. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. You can win a ticket at Standoff to come to Everwinter. It should be like the biggest Northeast event we have. Yeah. It's also just a really fun time. There's a big vendor hall there too, so it is awesome to see and actually like look at different stuff throughout the vendor hall. And I usually spend way too much money there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Everybody can come and see my hopefully award-winning miniature.
Fingers crossed. Hey, if anything, you should get a nice picture taken of it because they actually go around with like a nice shadow box and stuff and paint it.
Yeah, I don't expect a first competition to really win, but it'll be fun.
I like how Steven is just editing the Google Doc, not actually on the podcast, as he's like procrastinating.
I thought that was you.
No, that's him. All right, so into the episode topic.
Before that,
what do you got?
Don't forget Patreon.
Oh, that's true. That's true. If you want to help us out, we do start our own Patreon. So please, if you want to support us, link in the description below. Any little bit helps, especially just to cover like the recording costs. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I don't need to make money off this, but it'd be nice to at least recover the cost actually to put it out.
It's not the most expensive program, but it still is a cost. And
it's still there.
So if you guys want to help us out with that, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd rather go buy models with that money than...
Yeah, I'm with you.
the recording costs.
All right. So now we can jump into the episode topic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And something we need to mention, because we're talking about monsters. So we're talking about vampires and stuff like that. My wife the other day realized that in What We Do in the Shadows, it has Wesley Snipes come in as a Skype call to be part of the Vampire Council, joking about the Blade movie. So that means that Laszlo Nandor and Colin Robinson are actually MCU characters.
It's true.
So we need to have a card for them at MCP.
We really do.
And so
somebody get on that and send it to us.
Yeah. Well, something for Everwinter. Brian does an event for Everwinter where you get it's called So You Think You Can Dev. We actually get to make character cards for it. Cool. And the second day event, you can actually play those characters. So I might have to make a Colin Robinson because I feel like that would be the funniest one because it would all just be power, like energy drainage, right? So it'd be like ways of shunting away. Yeah, he would have it like if you move close, so maybe like a tricks and traps kind of thing. It'd be all of that kind of stuff.
Like, how wild does he let you get with it? Like, is there a set parameter? Like,
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I'm sure you can do whatever you want. I know there was one he previewed of Silk, the Spider-Man character.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, did you see that if the character has slow, she gets to add 2 dice to her builder? Yeah, and then she's a web warrior. So I'm like, okay, you play all webbed up and you're doing 9 dice builders like on a 3 threat? Like, get out of here. It's like, that's so broken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you go wild. And I think with Colin Robinson, I would do like all these, like, you would spend power to drain power away, but I'd make his like a 3 dice strike or something silly like that on him.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That would fit. Yeah. So, yeah. That might be something to do. But yeah, they're MCU characters.
That's awesome.
So then, getting into the monsters, you might know this better than me. Do you actually know much about them in the actual Marvel?
Not a ton. Werewolf by Night is probably one of the more popular ones with Dracula.
I guess we should go over that in the box. It's Werewolf by Night, Dracula, Encanto the Living Mummy, and Frankenstein's Monster, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I know nothing about the Mummy in the comics, and I know nothing about Frankenstein in the comics.
Yeah. The only thing I know about the Mummy is the S.H.I.E.L.D. chat talking about, hey, he did stuff with S.H.I.E.L.D., and he might be affiliated in S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's all I'm hoping for, and that's all I know about him in the comics.
Have they not officially released the affiliations?
Nah, it'll come out November 1st when they actually release.
Because I was under the impression that Mummy, Werewolf, and Frankenstein are all going to be
we know they're Midnight Sun, and then we know Dracula's Cabal and his own leadership because that was
don't know if there's anything else.
But yeah, we don't have the official affiliation list yet.
Okay.
So that will, honestly, when you're listening to this, come out tomorrow, or even maybe today because it's Halloween. But I think that's going to be a big thing for them as well, is where they can splash into well, because I do think some of these characters feel great, and they would feel great splashing other things.
Yeah, they all look fun.
So yeah, I think, I guess they're Marvel characters. They're basically just the normal, like, monster tropes, right? Like, they're nothing special for Marvel. I don't think so, right?
My understanding is, especially like Dracula is just the Dracula ported into the Marvel universe. Like, that's Dracula. It's nothing super special. Like, he's nothing different.
Yeah. And then Mummy is a mummy, and like I guess it's not that complicated. Werewolf by Night is a werewolf.
Right. I don't know like their origins and stuff. I assume Dracula's is the same origin that he's always had, like in every other form of media. But he was just an obvious. He's like a good villain for Blade, right? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it fits well.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Blade is usually their leader, right? Because they're all Midnight Sun affiliated, except for Dracula.
Yep.
So they all get Bump, which I think is honestly like most of these guys are medium bases. So I think a Bump feels great. Everyone but the Mummy. Yeah. And then honestly, if you look at, we'll kind of go through each character here a little bit. I don't want to like read the card outs, but I want to kind of talk about each character. So let's talk about Frank's monster actually, because I think Frank is an interesting one because he's got the 2-powered charge. But sometimes I feel like the 1-powered Bump is just as good because he's on a medium base.
He's on medium, yeah.
And then that's something I've noticed with him. I played a couple like proxy games with him a little bit. Is that he feels very power starved. He just has 2 gainers, and so he doesn't generate a lot of power. So I'm like, yeah, too power for a charge is asking a lot from that guy. So it feels really good to actually have Bump on him.
Yeah, Bump on him seems like it would be pretty useful,
yeah.
Especially where he wants that power for his other stuff.
Yeah, and that was one thing I think AMG caught because they made it so his Tactus card, which is kind of like a Heroes for Hire. So it's called, what is it called? Hideous Monster. It's a bodyguard mechanic, but he doesn't have to pay for it, which is phenomenal. So the guy actually getting targeted pays for it.
Yeah. And that's an interesting card too.
It is, right? Because like you look at the card and you're like, all right, cool. It gives me bodyguard. always great. He doesn't have to pay for it. Super great. It moves him around pretty good. It has all this extra stuff where after the attack resolved, if he's not dazed or KO'd, you roll dice, you can know what damage he has, and the character suffers their own damage for each crit wild. And if they did, they get pushed towards Frankenstein's monster. I've used it. It's very nice. I feel like the crit wild, it's just like Mysterio's roll 4 dice or a counterattack. It doesn't feel consistent at all.
Well, yeah, I think that's the worst part of that card, right? And I don't think you're necessarily using it for that effect. You're just, that's like a little bonus if you get it.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I feel like a push towards him, probably not super helpful. Like if it was a push away, I think that'd be really good. But a push towards your character is like, feels a little not as powerful.
I just had him pulled up. I guess it's, again, like a situational thing. Like if you know you're going to activate Frank next, now that character's within like a range 2 6-die
That's true.
attack.
And I guess you do get to place him within one of the character.
Yeah.
One of the allied characters. So you can try to like pivot maybe the movement tech on that. But again, it's not a guaranteed movement. But I still think just...
I don't think it's terrible because all of Frank's attacks are range 2.
Yeah, and I think also for Frank, like I think you always bring this card if you're bringing Frank.
You do, yeah. I think you're probably right, just for the bodyguard effect.
Yeah, and you want him to be attacked because I think if your opponent sees a Frankenstein's monster, like if I ever saw a Frankenstein's monster, I wouldn't touch him. I'd be like, you can just sit there and not generate power and not be able to activate your whole card
because he also.
Yeah, he has to be range 2. Yep. He generates more damage with his spender, the more the more damage he has on him.
Yep.
So he wants to take damage. It's like
kind of like a mini Hulk in that sense.
I think so. They have the same pose. Actually,
yes, very, very similar. He does have the self-heal, which is cool.
Yeah. I don't know when you would use that. I guess if he gets like spiked down, he's alive on 1.
Yeah.
Funny name. That might be helpful. He's got a size 4 throw, and it's a throw medium too, which is nice, just terrain. But
so I feel like something I've been noticing in more recent MCP characters is that throw is almost never a character anymore. I feel like that's a new trend.
And they tie it to like a spender where he has after attack resolve. He can throw characters off his Monster's Fury. I agree. You're seeing that a lot more where everyone just throws terrain, but not characters.
Which I kind of understand why they're doing that, but I feel like it just makes characters like Bill that more likely to be splashed in and valuable.
Yeah, it like really shows the strength in those old characters being able to be that versatile. Another thing with him is his thick skull. That's his other one where it's 1 power. It's a 5 dice attack. It's just a physical range 2. But if it does damage, it staggers.
That's nice.
It's nice. I feel like sometimes when you want that stagger, though, you're not going to do damage on 5 dice.
Probably not.
Right? Like, it's like, ugh. Like, at least it's just damage. It is not a wild trigger.
Although, I mean, if you have the power to use it, you might still use it. It's 1 die less than his
that's true.
Gainer. And
that's
if you
true.
tweak that 1 damage through, you know.
It's stagger can be a really big thing. When I played him, I was going into Dracula. And Dracula, I was like, yep, I want to stagger that guy, right? So it was very helpful for that to kind of help crowd control a little bit versus just trying to push people around, which isn't always helpful. So it is good crowd control, I would say.
Do you think you'll see his spenders used that often?
No, I used it one time when he was at full health. So it was just a 6-die attack, but I was just trying to get the crit wild throw off on him. Just to try to actually like throw a character, but it didn't happen. So I don't think so. I think you're just going to do 6 dice punches and then maybe an occasional stagger. And then just try to, get people to bodyguard into you.
I mean, it is nice that he can throw a size 4 off of it, but
but it's after resolve.
Power is rough.
Yeah, he needs it, I think. I also brought Sacrifice every time I brought him to try to get people to attack him more often. And he doesn't have like a built-in taunt on his card, which is a little challenging because I do think people could just play around him, unfortunately.
Excuse me. He is a 7 HP on both sides, which is nice. You probably want him as your sacrifice in the bodyguard play.
Yeah, and exactly. And he wants that damage to unlock his card more. Even though I did have Dracula attack back into me and one-shot me, and that was pretty cool. So it's like, oh, this is great. Thanks, Jen. So look at that coming up because that was pretty fun. It's on video. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Overall, I think he looks like a lot of fun. I think you're right, though. People will either avoid him or they could just pay for engaging with him.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how people react to him on the table, because there might be situations where they're forced to engage with him depending on missions. So yeah, this will be...
Like, honestly, you put poison on this guy and you ignore him.
You ruin his day if he has poison.
Yeah, he's just doing... I guess he can do some 6-die attacks, but you can kite him around. If you can throw him without throwing him into stuff to gain power, then he has poison, so it's hard for him to charge back. Like, you can just kind of turn him off, which is very hurtful.
He definitely has some weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's worth 4 threat, though?
With that 7 health, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think his biggest issue is he doesn't have a range 3 at all.
Yeah. Well, you got the charge, but you gotta have the power. And then again, you are in the blade leadership, so you can bump at least turn 1. But yeah, I think he would, if he had like a throw or a little like throw a rock kind of thing or something like that, I think it'd be really good.
Or throw him in humans, and he has a charge turn 1.
Yeah, he was the one I was talking about. Where I think he would really like Inhumans because he gets all that extra power generation from them.
Yeah, I think you're
or
right.
Even A-Force, if you're doing weird Air Force stuff, I think he would really like getting the additional power.
He does seem like he'd be a fun splash in my Inhumans list I was rocking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about Frankenstein's monster. I think it's cool. I love his other name is Adam. Randomly.
It's like in-universe name or whatever.
Yeah. My wife was telling me it's probably because in the book Frankenstein's monster, like the actual novel, he's described as like a creation of Adam or something like that. And so they think
interesting.
Maybe that's where it came from.
I bet there is like a link to that in the Marvel version of him. For sure.
My wife is much smarter and reads a lot more than I do.
Well, it's because you're always painting.
It's true. Got to paint. I got to listen to podcasts about MCP. That's all I do.
All right. Do you want to do Mummy or do you want to do Werewolf?
I think let's save Mummy for the last. Because I got lots to talk about him.
Even over Dracula?
Yeah, I think so. I think let's talk about Werewolf next. Then. What are your immediate thoughts about Werewolf?
I think he's fun. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a competitive pick, but we'll see. I think that 2 Mystic is really rough.
Yeah.
And he's also 5 threat, so he needs to do a lot as a 5 threat model.
You have the exact thoughts that I do, where he's fun, he's thematic, he's cool looking model. But for a 5 threat, you want him to do a lot. In my experiences with him, he's just he's pretty quick. He's a medium base, medium move. He's got the place off of Savage Slash.
And a range 3 builder.
But I had trouble with him like getting going, right? He can put bleed on, which I guess is cool if you want to make a bleed centric list with Blade and Dracula, which is pretty easy to do. His pounce is cool, but it's 3 power. I had a really hard time like getting him going, unfortunately. And it might have just been like games I played him, I wasn't able to actually like put him in the right area kind of thing. Because where I was playing against him last, he was going against Bill a lot, and then Bill's immune to bleed. So I was like, cool. So it puts out a bunch of bleed and I can't really do anything with it. And then Bill has all his damage reduction, so that made it challenging. Yeah,
he seems very, like, everything's expensive for him except for Unearthly Howl.
Which I don't think is that good.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to spend Unearthly Howl that often. Yeah. What does Midnight Massacre do after this tag?
That's good. The clapback.
Yeah, that one is good.
That's very good.
I mean, Lethal Lycanthrope is really quite awesome. But you have to have free power for it.
Yeah. I think I ran into the same thing where it's like when I was playing against my opponent, he was just kind of ignoring him and not really attacking him. And so he was just kind of...
He would also benefit from Inhumans.
He might. Because I guess his stuff is expensive. Now, he does have a 6 dice range 3 builder, so he should be able to generate power pretty well off of that.
Yeah. Maybe just for avoiding him was the issue.
Yeah.
Or, like, maybe that's another weakness for him. Like, if you just avoid him, he's not gonna...
Yeah. I think he'd be good like on cubes, because he's got healing factor 2. I think you can pick extracts that he'd probably do a lot better on.
So, I know the card doesn't exist anymore, but I think if Exceptional Healing still existed, he would be much more valuable.
Oh, he'd be real good.
Like, stupidly valuable.
Yeah. He might benefit from Second Wind. Is that what it's called?
He might, just because he has such a large health pool.
Yeah, he's got 7 health, right? So, like, that's nice for him. He can take a hit. He's got healing factor. Unearthly Howl, I need to talk about more about that one. I hate that. I don't like, so it's like, oh, cool, you roll 4 dice, they lose power. So I guess it's cool to see more lose power.
Mm-hmm.
But then I hate to put the conditions on, you have to roll a skull.
Yeah, that's
So
just like it's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, and I guess maybe it'd be too powerful if you always got to put a condition on, or maybe it was like, if they lose power, they gain a condition, but having to roll a skull on 4 dice just feels bad.
The chance of getting root is nice though.
It is, yeah. I used it once, and I did root because I was going into Bill, and Bill's immune to bleed. And so we'll kind of talk about his card as well. Was it Phases of the Moon or something like that? Yeah, Phases of the Moon.
No, Bill hates root. He hates it.
He does, yeah. So that was nice, where it's like, okay, I'll do that. But I wanted to try to play Phases of the Moon because I wanted to try to use it. Mm-hmm. But I kept reading it, and it's like you get the reroll based on the amount of special conditions the enemy has.
Yeah, I know. So my initial thought when I read that was like, do I splash this in Apocalypse? Like,
yeah, right. Which you're like, okay, this is cool.
It doesn't fit to me for where he's currently a character, though. It's weird.
Yeah, it's really hard to get off. And like, maybe you play it late game where you're like, oh, I'm going to go into this character that has bleed and has this other thing, and 2 attack rerolls is really good. I don't have to worry about picking up conditions right now because I'm just trying to kill this character to win the game. Could be good for that, but then it has a high risk of just being a dead card in your hand if you don't play it.
Right.
I don't know. And you can't hold interact tokens. I mean, yeah.
That's always rough because if you're not holding tokens, then you better freaking be killing stuff constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just realized that his pounce is 1 more power than most other characters' pounces.
Oh, even what's New Thor's pounce?
Oh, maybe New Thor's, but like I know Black Panther's is 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's because he's size 3?
Yes, I think so. I think the characters that are size 3, it's 3 power. So like Glider Ram, I think, is also 3 power, correct?
I'd have to look.
Let's go look up Green Goblin.
So here's my issue right here. So Thor throws himself medium for 3 power, and he's a size 3 for 3 power. But Werewolf only throws himself small for the same amount of power.
Glider Ram also throws him medium for 3 power.
So
he's not as fast.
This is actually worse than the others.
That
is upsetting.
Yeah.
Like, I like that I can throw a size 3 character into somebody without taking damage, but the fact that those characters get medium, why does poor Werewolf only get short?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Maybe they're trying to tone him down. I guess he does. Like, again, I think going back to him, his Midnight Massacre is very strong.
No, I guess New Thor is a 6th threat.
Mm-hmm.
But still.
And I think if this guy could have clapback and then have really lethal, like, pounce spender with a throw, that might just be too much for a 5 threat.
Yeah, like, but I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like, he's worth more than a 4 threat, but I don't know if he's quite a 5.
Yeah, I kind of feel you there.
I mean, I'm sure it could be one of those situations where it gets on the table, somebody smarter than us, and we find out it's like the most ridiculous model on the planet, because we all thought the new Thor was going to be trash, and look at it. I think he's a menace.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes you got to get models on the table and actually play them to really find out what your thoughts are.
I'm still excited to play this character because the monsters are just so different. Like,
I played him and didn't really have too much of like a good experience with him, but I still want to play him more actually because I feel like I just wasn't using him right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on that card too. Like, there's a lot of words of text on that card.
A lot of words. All right, any last thoughts about Werewolf?
I also don't like that his leap is a must place within one.
Yeah, those are always
want to be within one of a character. Like, sometimes I wish it said may.
Yeah, that would be great. Doesn't really fit the whole werewolf idea though. Like, if it's a werewolf attacking you, it's going to jump on you.
Yeah, like
he's
that makes a lot of sense. They're like kind of like insane and they want to murder everything.
Yeah, he's only got 2 mystic defense. He ain't thinking that hard.
I mean, by that logic, it could have a higher mystic defense because he ain't thinking that.
Because he's crazy.
He's so crazy that it doesn't affect him.
That's true.
I do like that he's a 4/4. I wish that was a 3, but 2 feels bad, man.
He's good on pay flips because all the pay flips are physical or energy. Yeah. So you can play him there. All right.
Mummy.
Dracula.
Oh yeah, Dracula.
God, speaking of a lot of words on a card.
But he seems great. Like the little bit I've used him just on like TTS experimental stuff, like he was fun.
He's kind of a bit of a bully.
Oh, he's super bully.
Yeah, like a lot of a bully.
Like
I mean, the king of slapping.
Like I originally thought he was going to have power generation issues. As soon as you get a character out there or two characters and they have bleed, the guy is skyrocketing in his power shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
Yeah. And like his clapback's only 2 power. And you can do anything on it. Now he has to be range 2 usually. But yeah, I think his power generation is perfectly fine.
So I was going to ask you about the Eternal Hunger thing. So he would, if you're at range 3, he would have to spend 2 power for Eternal Hunger and then another 4 if you wanted to clap back for Fury.
Yeah, you have to use Spender. Yeah.
Which is nice that you can do it at range 3.
Yeah. That Spender, by the way, real good, right? So he has it, like if someone's bleeding, which, you know, if you're playing him when he can bleed stuff himself really easily, or you're playing him with a lot of bleed stuff where you're playing his leadership, and being able to reroll any number of attack die on an 8-die attack is really good. It's really consistent.
Super good. Range 3, and then you get to throw something.
Yeah, so even if you don't kill somebody,
like, you don't even have to damage, and you can throw it if you get unlucky like I do and reroll twice.
Yeah, that's true. And then also with his power generation, he does have the thing that if anybody's bleeding around him, he gets to actually gain a power.
Yes, which is
so I think
great.
As you get him going, he doesn't really care about it.
But he also heals off that. So he gets a power and removes the damage. It's not either or.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
That being said, he is squishy, I think. He's not the most durable character.
He is. His biggest defense is that Eternal Hunger, that clapback, where you're trying to deter people from attacking him. And I will say, I had Frankenstein's monster attacking to him, and he just died from a clapback because it was a 7-die attack.
Yeah.
So that clapback can be super scary. But if you attack this guy outside of range 2, which is what I ended up trying to do, he kind of goes down. Yeah,
if he doesn't have the power to clap back with his Fury of the Vampire, it's rough. But then he has Shapeshifter, or Shapeshifting, I should say. Which is great.
It's great because it gives you so many options. Yeah. Like there's so many times where you're like, oh, I want to get on top of that building. Well, I don't need a long move. I just need flight, right? Or like, oh, I'm going to go when, you know, there's a play of like, you know, you can just run up midline. If someone comes and picks up a extract on the midline, you could say, hey, I'm going to go wolf, move long, and then 7-die attack into somebody.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Maybe be close enough to have power off
of that. He's on that medium base.
Yeah, right? So he can't like long move and pick up something because he won't have the power for it, but you can still do it where he just gets to go bully somebody. Also, and I feel like that's all this guy does is bully people.
Mist, I think, is actually really good. If he's not holding an objective token and he's loaded up on friggin' special conditions for 1 power, they all just drop off of him and he heals. Like, what?
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's a little bit of both because usually we've only seen that as spend 1 power to remove a condition. But he is spend 1 power to move all and also heal.
Like, the only downside is he drops his objective token.
Yeah.
But depending how you do it, he could just pick it right back up. Like,
it's true. Yeah, you could just drop it. And then that's true because you're dropping it on your turn, right? So you can just drop it and pick it right back up.
Yeah, it's at the beginning of your activation when you move.
Yeah, and I guess you do have to move. So if you are moving, you have to drop it and then move and then pick it back up.
Yeah, but you can game it because you don't have to move the full length of the tool. So you
if you're dropping it, your opponent's placing it. So your opponent could just dictate where you move then.
But still, you could still be like, all right, at least all my conditions, now I move away from you, plus I get my objective back. Yeah. And maybe you're still in range of a Fury of the Vampire.
Yeah. And I guess most people, when you drop an objective token, you put it towards your characters, and he's probably going that way anyways.
Which they don't want him close unless they're going to kill him.
Yeah. Again, I think it's funny, speaking of getting close, I'm assuming Blade and Dracula hate each other, correct? It's like the whole point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not fond of each other.
Dracula is pretty good under Blade's leadership.
With a bump. Right? Well, he's on the medium base. All of a sudden he's bumped up. Like, oh.
They both love to do bleed shit, and they both get huge buffs when there's bleeding characters around them, and they both give out bleed. It's like, man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, if only Blade was a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that wet noodle not doing much.
Yeah.
And then last thing, I think that's like, honestly, like there's so many other things in this card you forget about. He's got a bow. He's got hypnotic stare where it's 2 power. Pick a character, move small. Like so good, right? Just so good for so many situations, for objective play, for setting off traps, for bringing them closer because it's range 3, so you can bring them closer you to actually hit them.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to waste an action to move, but if I move you short, like...
Or like 3 power, you can bump on a medium base, bump forward, and then be with their range 3 to bow them towards you. Super good.
Yeah.
And I guess to be clarifying, bow is a terminology used for most people to talk about these powers that you get to move an enemy character.
Yep.
Because the first power to have it was called Bow to the Will of MODOK on MODOK 1. So most people just refer to them as bows.
Also, I don't think, like... So with Hypnotic Stare, you can just send them any direction, right? It's not a
any way you want.
core, so like it's great.
And it's an advance, not a push.
So you can just be like, I want to deal with you, go over there, or I want to kill you, come over here. Like
exactly. You move them off points, and then, like you activate them last on a round. You move them off a point. You can have a 2-point swing for that reason. Really, really versatile. So it makes him a little bit more than just a straight attrition piece. I think he's got a little bit of control on his card, which is nice.
Yeah,
but he can die. I guess he's got 7 health, and he's a 4/3/4. So he's got pretty, I guess, above average defensive stat line. And he can heal a lot because he's got his bleed heal and he's got his little attack that heals him.
Yep.
Which is good. But
there's still going to be those games where he gets one shot by like freaking Apocalypse or somebody. Like,
yeah, something stupid happens.
Yeah.
Right?
I do think he would benefit, like especially if you're going to play his leadership. I think you bring Frank. Or you just bring a cheaper Luke Cage just to help keep him alive a little longer. And
I could see that.
Yeah.
And I guess I will say the Thrall's the Dracula card, I think it got an FAQ. So
it's not much better.
It's not straight garbage where the people spinning the power to put the bleed on will actually heal themselves. So it's not everybody healing Dracula. The other characters can heal. So
it's definitely
not
better.
Terrible.
It's not the best. But
yeah, I'm not like blown away by it. But I guess that's a good thing because I think these ones that any character can be this affiliation, they need to not be that powerful or they're just too good. Like,
you can run into some real issues because it's just like, all right, I'm just going to take value.
Yeah, like Hellfire Club is just like, I get rewarded by playing the leader, playing the missions. All right, cool. I'll just bring all the really hyper efficient models and play the missions. And so I think that's a little too much. So this, I guess, is nice to see. It's very thematic, too.
It's nice that they restricted Hellfire Club, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was a smart play on their part.
I know a lot of Hellfire Club players are probably like, no.
Yeah.
But I think you still play it. It's still really good.
Yeah, it's still great leadership. It's great faction still.
Yeah.
Last thing is one of our local guys joked that if Dracula comes around a lot, we're going to see the rise of the Sentinels because they're all immune to bleed. Because it can turn off his leadership. And I'm like, okay, I think it probably takes more than that for Sentinels to get fixed.
I don't even think... I think if you play Dracula in his leadership, you're not necessarily playing for the leadership. I think you're playing for value characters.
Yeah. And then honestly, like...
With a bonus.
Yeah, and at that point, we know he's affiliated in Cabal.
Right.
He's great in a Cabal. Right, if you can Red Skull 3, you can move him up with Red Skull 3. His skulls turn into crits. He has Dark Rain, so you get more rerolls.
Yeah.
So I guess you could Fury the Vampire onto a Bleed character, be able to reroll, and then also reroll again with Dark Rain, and so you could just confirm 8 damage mostly.
I think he's going to be really splashable in a lot of factions.
Yeah, I think he's a good 5. We're seeing a lot of these 5 hits coming out where like Namor is your hyper fast mover, kind of more objective play with that drop and stuff, and then the stagger and stuff, and so he's just more mobile. I feel like Dracula is very much like I'm gonna go kill people, go punch people really hard with his 7 dice builder. I think that's kind of his thing, and it's kind of cool to see all those different 5s coming out recently because we've seen a lot of 5s recently.
Not to mention that builder puts probably some of the better conditions out on a freaking hit. Like
on a hit, yeah, not even a wild, hit on 7 dice, bleed, slow, root, or hex.
And those are all, slow is probably the weakest, but...
Yeah, root, hex, bleed, great. All great. Bleed for him, especially because it turns on his healing. But yeah, seeing root more, you realize root is very oppressive.
I think bleed's an interesting one, because a lot of people will not toss a bleed. So they'll just slowly die by 1,000 cuts. But I wonder if they'll rethink it with Dracula.
I bet you they would.
Because all he's going to get Drac has a shit ton of power. And he just heals a ton.
Yeah, I imagine so.
So that'll be
Or you might see more like Children of the Atom, Battlefield Medicine, stuff that gets rid of conditions might be more like a bigger thing.
That more often. I think this is interesting because it's leaning into a single condition type, whereas Apocalypse kind of wants every condition type.
Yeah. He doesn't go well into Apocalypse, I don't think.
I don't think he would.
No. I mean, I guess he could kill Apocalypse pretty easily.
Honestly, I almost think you would take Werewolf in Apocalypse's faction just because of his stupid card with the condition thing.
Oh. I don't know. I think that's asking too much.
It's asking a lot.
It's asking too much.
Like, I don't know. Did we mention it in the last podcast? We mentioned it somewhere that Apocalypse is one of those affiliations that doesn't feel like it needs a lot of splashing, which is kind of weird.
I think it's a cool thing. Like you're kind of, incentivized to not splash. I feel like because you want his horsemen. Right. So I actually like that a lot of his thing. I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, just make it really challenging to bring in. Like he doesn't have a steal or anything like that, so it does make it challenging to bring in those other characters.
Yeah. But this isn't an Apocalypse episode, so
no, it's not.
But yeah, I think Drac is going to be good unless somebody finds a real easy way to shut him down, which I don't know what that would be. Probably Root.
Yeah, I think Root hurts him, but also he can just mist out of it. So
exactly.
It's like
he's got the tools to.
Yeah,
he has the tools to stay alive. You do have to be careful, I think, where he goes because he is only a 4/3/4. So I think energy is going to be kind of his. Well, it obviously is his weakest.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like putting conditions on him hurts him. Yeah, like yes, he can shapeshift and drop them all, but he has to
use an action.
He still loses the action, right?
So like, move.
Yeah, you put stagger on him, you're still basically staggering him because he has to move, unless you want him moving. But still, like usually staggers kind of protect people from not getting two-shotted.
Right. It'll be interesting for sure. I don't know if you use mist unless it's like a significant condition.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
So he can bleed. So if he's got a bleed token on him and he's about to die, he's probably going to mist, drop the bleed token, and heal too, right? So
does he heal himself?
He heals himself
for each other character. So no, I was wondering if his unholy vampiric immortality would actually heal himself.
Each other character, but if he mists, he heals himself.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think also unholy vampiric immortality, you can bleed your own characters, and they'll help you.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So if somebody puts bleed on your other characters, all of a sudden you're just helping Drac with this power gen.
Yeah, you're right. Because it says each other character within 3. Yeah, so if you're going against another bleedy team, it might be kind of fun.
I think he looks fun. I'm excited about him. His leadership is like whatever. I think it's going to be fun to just slap some value characters into it.
Yeah,
and see what you can do with it.
Model is not great.
I think it looks cool. It wasn't fun to build.
Yeah, like it's not great. It's finicky. Those bats are going to break really fast.
This is an issue I have with AMG anyways. They make really flimsy models at times.
They do.
Like, come on, guys. Like, I get it's like true scale, but come on.
Yeah. Like, don't put little tiny finicky bats attached to a cape. I guess it's thematic. It's cool.
But these are game pieces.
But yeah, it breaks. Like my Namor's trident broke right away.
Yep. My Deadpool's sword somehow snapped in the middle. Like what? Yeah. I don't even know how. Frickin' Nebula, she's broken off of her tiny little foot piece. Like, it's awful.
I was playing against Jen and his Miles Morales broke at the wrist.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they're finicky. I mean, they look good, but you gotta be careful with those things.
Yeah, it's really frustrating because if you accidentally knock a piece of terrain over,
you're a little screwed.
You know. But yeah, he is the worst one to build / the most breakable of this lot.
Let's move on to the best model in this box.
I think you're
hands down. Fucking Encanto Living Mummy. So good. Like so good. Like I think you need to consider this guy splashing in a lot of places for what he does as a 3 threat. And also like what he does by himself. Like his big thing is so he has those soul mechanics, right? So anytime somebody dies or gets KO'd or dazed, just another character. That includes grunts. So like shield players with my shield grunts, that looks fairly tasting. And so he gets to use those capture soul tokens in a better way than Hela does, where he's got the big thing is that he can then spend those capture soul tokens to either gain a power, remove conditions from himself, or heal. And what I've experienced with him is you use it to gain a power. So you turn on his Sever Souls, which is his spender, which is a range 4 6 dice mystic attack.
Disgusting.
And if it does damage, you get another capture soul.
So you're
it kind of feeds
one,
itself. Yeah.
As long as you're,
Yeah. He turns into this machine that is just really self-sufficient and doing, like, it just turns a machine on where he's like, okay, I'm going to spend power to do this attack. I'll get another one. You can then, another thing you can do with those capture soul tokens is at the end of the modified dice step, so you get to see what your opponent's rerolls are. You can spend one of your capture souls to change one of your skulls into a wild. So like sometimes you're doing a severed soul and you're like, all right, I already have 3 severed souls, or 2. Like I know I'm going to gain one back because I'm doing damage on this attack. I know I have a skull right there. Yeah, I'm going to do more damage and I still get my soul token back, right?
Or you turn your push on for his strike.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I used to strike one time. Usually,
I don't think you're using him for that, but like it's still like, oh, I could push you away. Like,
yeah, I feel like he is just a turret character like no other. He's like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna range 4 mystic attack you out my butt.
Yeah, and he's actually got the ability to be kind of self-sufficient with it too. I don't think you get it off round 1, do you? He doesn't start with
unless somebody gets dazed round 1 somehow. So like I guess you could go with hand ninjas runs. You could kill them yourself, and he would get a token and then turn it on. But usually he's fine, like walking up, getting position, and then turn until he has 2 power.
Turn 2, he spends his Sever Soul. While he uses Sever Soul, gets one of the tokens, and then he can kind of refund from then on.
Yeah. So like it takes him a turn or 2 to really get rolling. But as soon as things start dying around him, he'll start just pumping it through.
Yeah.
And then also, so he's a 3 threat with a 6 dice range 4 attack, which is great. He's got damage reduction as a 3 threat, which I feel like we don't see super often. Like all I can think about is crossbones
and Cage.
Cage. And then I'll have to look that up. But he's also whenever this character would suffer damage, so it doesn't care if it's an enemy effect.
Yeah, he just if I take damage.
Yeah, which so I guess there's not many things that would cause 2 damage as just any damage, but you don't have to worry about like throws, anything like that. He'll reduce damage,
which is great.
Yeah, like super great.
And then
Luke Cage.
Soul Harvester is just how he gets his soul tokens when somebody's dazed or KO'd. Another character, it can't be him, but
and you can only hold an action with 3 tokens at a time, so it's not super wild, but it does make you think about like, oh, when I'm making this attack, I think I'm probably going to drop this character. Let me just spend this soul token anyway so I can actually refund it back kind of thing. Or hey, I'm going to spend this soul token and gain a power. I'm at like 6 power, but I'm going to do it beforehand because I know I'm probably going to get another soul token from my Sever Soul. And so you can kind of be really hyper efficient with him as well.
Yeah, so you're like, you could even get 2 tokens off of 1 attack.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So stuff to think about, because then you're like, okay, and then it's just money. Like, hey, I'm generating more power, or hey, I'm healing more, or something like that before this, or like, yes, I can really use Undead Empowerment whenever I want to. Then, super good. Yeah, and then I think going back to his damage reduction, he's 4/2/4. So yeah, he's weak to energy. We've had plenty of characters like that before that you just learn to honestly deploy them well, and try to avoid those situations where they get kind of bullied by an energy character. Luckily, he's 2 energy dimension sucks, but he's got damage reduction, which really makes up for it. And then he's 4/2/4. So like his 4 physical defense, where like who was running into him? I think it was Gamora was punching him with all her physical attacks. I'm like, all right, I can roll 4 dice still and a damage reduce. It's like, this guy is not dying.
That's pretty good.
I'm fine. Right. And then you have a way of healing him up on your turn with those captured soul tokens. So this guy is just like, he can do a little bit of everything.
Can heal himself. I don't know if you're using him so much for that, but at least when I used him, I never did. But if you need to, like, all right.
Yeah, this guy's alive on 1. I guess I'll heal myself up to, you can only heal yourself by 3, but like still, like you could heal yourself 3 times in a turn. Honestly, you could do it more because living death is just an active power. So you can sever soul. Get another captured soul and then spend the soul you just gained.
Again. He could, in theory, bring himself back to full health.
Yeah. And so I was doing a lot where it's like, okay, I don't have enough. Like I'm doing a severed soul and then I'm going to gain power to kind of set myself up for next turn with another severed soul. Super good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Not to mention that he's immune to bleed, hex, and poison.
The 3 conditions, which
like
makes sense. He's a mummy, but like,
yeah, it does. But 3 conditions, like holy shit.
His card I never used just because Midnight Suns I feel like have so many good cards. Like you're gonna bring Siege of Darkness.
Talk about his card though. I think
you're gonna bring Ghost of Bat Town, but like his card, it's funny. I guess I don't know how often you bring it, but it can be an area 3 attack. So it's an area attack based on the amount of captured soul tokens you have, and then the power is based on the amount of power you spend on him. So I think you can make it.
So you know what's funny? So you could do that. You could spend the soul tokens to change any skulls for each attack because they don't go away till after the attacks are resolved.
Yeah, you're right. So you're just knowing that, like, hey, when he does his attack, he loses all his captured soul tokens afterwards.
Yep.
Because it says after all attacks resolved. So yeah, doing this, you would probably look for those skulls and be like, well, I'm going to spend it anyways and just do more damage because I'm losing these anyways. That's a really good point.
So for the listeners, it costs 2 power to play this card. It's an area star. The area is equal to how many of your captured soul tokens you have. So when you do this, you're probably going to have all 3. And then its power or its attack strength is however much power you spend. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be 2 minimum because you have to spend 2. And then it could be up to a 10 die attack.
I don't think it can actually, because when you read it, it says he may spend 2 to play this card. So 2 to play, and then add dice to each attack roll made as part of this attack equal to the amount of power spent. Oh, spent to play this card, excuse me.
Yeah. So I think you can spend multiple, so up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you do an area 3, potentially 10 die attack, and then for each wild and hit, you would hex somebody. But then because of the way it's worded, you don't lose your soul tokens until afterwards. Mm-hmm. So you can just spend them to change any skulls during your attacks into more damage.
Yeah, right?
So it seems really fun for sure.
Yeah. You're only using it like maybe when he gets killed and he's flipping back over and he's got like 8 or 10 power on him.
Or it's a bomb, like a mid-game bomb you just need.
Mm-hmm.
Like he died, all of a sudden you have 10 power and you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to bomb your whole team.
Yeah, it could be good in such a situation, especially on like bunched up maps.
Yeah.
Could be really good.
It would be real good.
Mm-hmm. But again, like I struggle to find a 5 where I have room to bring this, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe you'll see it in more of the like Dracula's affiliation. Like if you take
maybe
him.
Or maybe if you're splashing him to a list that like doesn't have that many good tactics cards, right?
Because I think what you run into with a lot of these affiliation, especially Dracula's, because there's no Dracula tactics cards outside of his leadership. So you can only take unaffiliated or character specific ones. So you probably would end up with this card in your 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Where it's like, especially if you're splashing somewhere, you're like, yep, I can bring that. That's helpful.
Yeah.
I was starting to think of affiliations that don't have very many tactics cards, and I was thinking Defenders because they used to not. But I'm like,
they have a ton now.
They have pretty good ones now.
I still think they have the best one in the game. That not Street Smart's
Mystic Ward.
Mystic Ward.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
They can just win you a game.
It can. Yep. Actually, maybe I put the Mummy in my Defenders list.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, where does he like to fit outside of Midnight Suns? I think Shield would like him as a turret character, as you're doing Gunline Shield. I think you would like him a lot. He's a mystic attacker, which is nice. I think
he has value almost anywhere because he's only a 3 threat.
I know, he's so cheap.
Actually, I back to Frank. Thinking of Defenders, I think Frank would be a good option for Defenders.
Oh yeah, he'd be good. He's got a 6 die attack. He's always rerolling. It's pretty good.
And then he can use a second Heroes for Hire essentially with his hideous monster.
Yeah. Oh, I want to put this guy in Sam Spam. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be fun.
For Avengers. Like the 3 threat that's like hyper efficient on himself. Like it's just so good. And so I'm trying to think of like, okay, what leadership could he benefit from?
I can think of a few. I think Guardians, because then he could get rerolls tokens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just do more damage output. That'd be really good.
Who else would he be good under?
Not really
Maybe
any
Shield with Tony.
Nah, I think I would just do shield with Gunline with Nick Jr.
Yeah.
I think he would fit there well because the grunts dying will generate him capture souls. And he'll just kind of self-efficient and like run himself.
Maybe he's how you fix the Sentinels.
Mate. The Sentinels don't give him anything. I was trying to think of like leadership that give him stuff, like literally like give him more power.
Sentinel Prime has a reroll bubble. Okay,
there you go. He's got a reroll bubble. You got it. That's what he needs, right there.
Him and Taskmaster. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Oh,
ooh, heavy firepower.
Oh yeah, heavy firepower contender right here.
That's the winner right here. Got that range
be
4.
Pretty gross. Range 4,
8 die attack. Let's go.
Yeah, Mummy's great. I really like this card.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, no, he would probably enjoy Red Skull 3 a lot. Because I believe Red Skull 3 leadership, it counts the skull as a crit. Is that correct? Each time allied character deals damage. No, this is Red Skull 1. That's not the one I want.
May treat one skull as a crit result. If it does, after the attack is resolved, the attacking character loses a power. If it does not lose a power, it suffers a damage instead.
Yeah, so you're treating the skull as a crit. Does that mean it becomes a crit, or does it still count as a skull?
No, it says treat, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say you change it.
Yeah. So is there a play here, where it's like the skull counts as a crit, and then you could also go back and
roll
undown empowerment with the skull. But I guess it doesn't matter too much because that skull
would just be funny.
It's already treated as a crit result, actually. So,
it
doesn't generate you any additional thing because it already counts as a crit. It's already doing damage. Counting it as a wild doesn't really change anything unless you have a wild trigger you want.
Oh, that's a superpower though. Attacks aren't considered superpowers. Never mind.
Oh, for what?
I was like, Captain America 1. He could reduce his stupid, what do you call it?
Cap 1 would suck for him.
Yeah, he wouldn't be good. I thought he could reduce his attack at first, the cost of the attack. Mm-hmm. So he's just a 1 power friggin' beam.
I had him get rooted once, and Kanto got rooted, and that sucked because it turns undown empowerment into power, and he likes his power to kind of self-suffice itself, and he doesn't like to spend extra, so rooting him was pretty hurtful for me.
Yeah, I don't know where else he would really slot.
I mean, Wakanda. You're probably right. It's probably all the reroll stuff, right? Because
I think he would love rerolls, especially
Wakanda. You're probably right. Iron Man 2, Invincible Iron Man, he'd probably enjoy. All those things, I think he'd probably enjoy quite a bit.
I mean, Wakanda would be great because he could sit in the back instead of Shuri.
Yeah, if you have the characters now, have to bring Shuri,
or you just have both, depending on your map.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he. Hands down, best, like, great model in this box. Like he
looks fun.
I can imagine him being a problem.
I think he will be. I really do. I think
you keep talking about Severed Soul, but his strike is also
it's actually good.
It's got a push and it's got a hex condition on it. Or I mean, it's a wild hit hex, but still, like, it does a lot.
And honestly, I'm not opposed to him being in somebody's face because he's a 4-die physical with damage reduction.
Yeah, he doesn't die super easy.
So he's actually almost better taking that than being at a range like a freaking rocket range 5 energy is worse for him than.
Yeah, that's true. Hates his energy guns, but loves getting punched in the face.
Yeah, he's fun. I think he's definitely. I mean, we might find out completely different. Maybe he's the worst, but I don't think he will be.
No. Definitely not the worst.
I think it's him, Dracula, and I think I probably would say Werewolf is the worst in this box because he's a 5/3.
Yeah, I think Frank's Taxes card makes him better, right? Because like he's got that bodyguard. So yeah, I would go the same way. I would go Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and then Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, and I still think like Dracula and Mummy, I think are really close in how good they are.
Yeah,
I think Mummy gets the edge because he's only a 3 threat.
Yeah, I know, right? It's wild. Like, if he was a 4, if he was a 4 with this stat card, like, I would still be like, he's not bad.
Yeah, I'd still probably play him.
Yeah.
But I would definitely be like, all right, he's not an always take. Mm-hmm. Now he's almost an always take.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm playing like Dracula's affiliation or I'm playing
With Midnight Suns, Jen and I were talking about how, hey, maybe the wide Midnight Suns, I think it's so much better with him too. We have him and Basque Panther as well as 3 threats. And then Black Cat as well, and even Moon Knight if you want to go that crazy. So going wide in Midnight Sun, I think, feels pretty good. They got pretty good solid 3 threats right now.
Oh, yeah. I think wide Midnight Suns right now seems really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think their weakest link at this point is Blade.
Yeah, I know, which is sad. So then hopefully, I mean, that's actually something to think about. What do you think? Can you imagine a Midnight Sun leadership that would be better with Elsa Bloodstone?
I don't know. I'm not a game designer by any means, so I'm like, I don't even know what you would do. I hope it's something that improves the monsters.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think they necessarily need an improvement, but it would be kind of cool, like if she had like a monster feely thing. Because she's kind of, I don't even know, because she's a monster hunter, but she works with a lot of monster. Like,
yeah, I would imagine it's like a reroll mechanic or a mechanic that kind of pushes more damage through.
If she gets a reroll mechanic, her and the mummy, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be really
so
good. I was also thinking, like, what would be better than Bump in the Night? And I think it would be something where, like, okay, Bump is mobility, and then you have something else that's more like attrition focus or it does damage.
So they've used
pretty good leaders,
reused leaderships we've seen. If they slapped like a winging it style thing on her, that would be cool.
That'd be way too strong.
But it would be so cool. I would have so much fun with that.
You also have to balance an Immortal Hulk as that affiliation. So you imagine Immortal Hulk with a wing it token.
Yeah, that would be bad. But
yeah, we're not too far away from her coming out. She's in January, right? So I'm really excited to see what she brings.
But also, does Immortal Hulk, I don't think is quite as effective without his bump.
It really helps him. That's true. It really.
I don't know if he cares about the reroll so much as he would want a bump.
The mobility to be able to actually hit people with 7 dice attacks. That's a really good point. I'm
very excited for the Elsa box, more because Man-Thing is in it.
Yeah, that's fair. He looks really fun to paint.
I really hope that character has I almost want him to be like a Bill type character where he just throws characters around or something.
That'd be good.
Plus, he looks like a lot of fun to paint.
Yeah, absolutely. He does.
Yeah.
I love painting green stuff. All right, well, I think that's monsters. You got any other fun thoughts about them or concerns with them or thoughts on the meta with them or anything like that?
I don't think we're going to see like a huge meta explosion. I think we'll see some improvements for Midnight Suns because they just got 3 new characters that are affiliated that are all decent. I think Drax affiliation will have to wait and see.
I think we'll see Dracula around though.
I think you'll see Dracula around for sure. I don't know if we'll see a ton of werewolf outside of his affiliations. Frank, maybe a couple.
Yeah, but probably not a whole lot. I think you'll see a lot of Dracula and Mummy. Will be the two.
I think those are the big 2. Again, we could be completely wrong, like we were about New Thor. But,
that's true. I love to be wrong. Yeah.
I do think Drac has much more play now with his affiliation since the wordage change. We went over that, right? Did we go over that?
Did. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
I think overall it's a good, fun box. I don't think you're going to see issues like Sentinels that are just kind of weak.
Yeah. You're probably not going to see a restricted card update in 2 months after they release like Asgard.
No, I would be surprised if we saw like a crazy climb in win rates like we did with Asgard.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's a good box. I think it's a fun box. I'm really excited to play it. They're fun. They're different looking. I don't have to play superheroes every time I play a board game or a miniature game now, which I'm happy about because sometimes I like to not play that.
Yeah.
I think they'll shake it up a little bit. I don't think it'll be anything crazy.
I think so too.
Like you said, Drac and Mummy will be the biggest ones we see around.
I'm excited for Mummy.
Playstyle wise, I don't know. I think it's going to just probably attrition. At least Drac's affiliation will be attrition based, I imagine.
Yeah, but he still has his bows, so he can still do a push and stuff. So I think it depends. It depends on the leader you're bringing him with. It depends on how things are feeling, I think.
I think Midnight Suns is kind of an attrition team. Especially with, what is their tactics card that lets people reattack stuff?
Siege of Darkness gives you a free attack.
that seems really good for all of those characters. I don't think Drac can do it because he's not affiliated. But
it's not super great for Mummy because it has to be a 0 cost.
Yeah, but still, if he's in range too,
5-dice strike. Yeah, it's just a 5-dice strike.
Yeah,
but it's good for Frankenstein because then it's a 6-die attack. It's good for Werewolf because it's a 6-die attack. Too, yeah, so that's another thing. It's like you bring that card in Midnight Sun all the time.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay. I look forward to seeing what they do.
They're probably intermediate to advanced on learning curve. At least if you're going the Drac side of things, because there's a lot on that card.
Yeah, I would agree. They're not like super. I mean, they are and they aren't. Like they're kind of beginner friendly because you could just go punch with them, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you can definitely do that. But I think if you really want to get the most out of them, you're looking more in the intermediate area.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because if you don't know that card, chances are you're going to miss a trigger that would have been really helpful at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if you forget to do like a clapback with Drac.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be pretty bad. And like knowing when to bodyguard with Frankenstein's monster, I think is a big play too.
Yeah. But I think it'd probably be an okay faction for a beginner because they're going to learn a lot of good mechanics out of them.
That's true. Yeah. So kind of like our more basic playstyle stuff. But you get a bit of everything in there. You get throws in there, you get bows in there, you get some conditions in there, you get a bit of everything that's in the game.
Yeah. But I do think it will take time to understand versus a lot of other factions where it's just like, all right, I go shoot you. This one's not quite like that just because of all the extra stuff they can do.
Yeah.
You can just go punch face with most of these characters, but they do a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Got any other last thoughts here to close us out?
So I don't have much more to say about monsters, except I'm really excited about them.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to mention we have a Discord. Link will be in the description. Please email us with any questions or suggestions or fun model conversions. I know Bork really likes the inappropriate ones.
He sure does.
We do have an Instagram. That's Alive on One. We have the Patreon now. Mm-hmm. So if you want to help us out a little bit with covering the costs of our software, that would be great. There are a few different tiers that will get you some other stuff. You can also order t-shirts through the Patreon, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do we got? Yes, we are now affiliated with Huge Miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to help us out, plus get some good hobby stuff, especially their basing stuff is great. At the same time, then you can use the link that'll be in the description. I also have the link in the Instagram. So like you just go there, spend money, and we get a little kickback. It'd be great help for us. So outside of that, I think we're good. Unless you got something I missed.
No, that's it too. I guess the last thing is RSMP will have some videos coming out soon of battle reports in it with monsters in it, so give it a watch. It's always nice to see other parts of the community grow as well, and not just us. So yeah, throw them a like and throw them a subscription over there.
Yep.
Awesome. And I guess like always, have a good Godspeed Spider-Man is what I was trying to say. That makes no sense, but we're gonna leave it. Have a good Godspeed Spider-Man.
Have a good Godspeed Spider-Man.
Did I just leave it but not end it?
I don't think it's ended.
It still says.
But
Where
what
is
does it say in recording in the top right for you?
I have 99% uploading, recording. And then I have recording, Nick guest. And it says 1 hour, 14 minutes, 10 seconds.
All right, so let's end this again.